Budget A51 back with a new unboxing slash showing off a figure that I got a couple of days ago. I was a little under the weather and I didn't want this thing to stay inside the box. It came in for too long, so what did I get? You saw the thumbnail. I got a box. Well, this is the box that had what I had inside the box, but, you know, this is the box for the Favorite Sculptors line of Godzilla 62 from the film King Kong vs. Godzilla. An excellent film, highly debated film, however, I think it's a lot of fun. For a long time I didn't like it, but, you know, after I get a little older, get a little wiser, you get to see the whole picture rather than just one side of it, and it's very enjoyable. So, looking at the box, this box is very retro looking. You know, it's got the retro look to it, it's got the print down the side for Godzilla, Favorite Sculptors line, the back, in the bottom left corner. Looking awesome, but it's a box. Who cares about a box? We have the figure, Godzilla 62. And right off the bat, you will notice something very different about this compared to the 62 30 centimeter. This one has a daytime paint job. Yes, that is the difference between both these X Plus figures. One I feel is a daytime, which is this figure. Kind of like when he returns to Japan and fights Kong at the end of the film, compared to the 30 centimeter, which I'm going to show a comparison in a little bit, of a nighttime Godzilla 62. Okay, so the way how I feel about them, and they both look very similar to those scenes that they are showing off, but let's talk about the Godzilla 62 Favorite Sculptors line. Off the bat, you look at the face, you see that the mouth is closed, and the eyes are pointing upward. You know, like he is in the film, just looking awesome. The paint scheme is more of a charcoal gray with a greenish tint to it. Looking really cool, kind of like he's walking up the side of Mount Fuji, or he's inside one of those little canyons in Mount Fuji fighting King Kong. Okay, looking around, you see the detail of the face. Looks really good. You know, I think that this may be a little more suit accurate than the 30 centimeter, but, you know, they're both very good figures. Now, you'll notice that he no longer has ears. This is where the no ears thing started with Godzilla in these films, which I don't really have a problem with. They brought it back in the Heisei series, which, you know, is really cool. Okay, going on to the big old neck. They really made Godzilla look very large in this film compared to his counterpart, King Kong. Now, King Kong was portrayed by a judo master, and he was very large as well, but Godzilla was much taller and looking far more imposing, and they got the look for this. Off the bat, let's do a little thing I want to talk about. So, there's a whole licensing thing with Japan and everyone else with King Kong. You can't say King Kong. Okay, fine. They're releasing later in this year Kong Skull Island. I'm getting the special version with the base holding a helicopter. Looks awesome. Okay, if we can do that, I would love it if they had a Favorite Sculptors line or a 30 centimeter King Kong, or just call it Kong 62, call it Kong 62, and have that come out. Better yet, why don't we have a Kong 67 and Kong 05, you know, just keep it coming. Just don't call it King Kong, alright? That's the way they want to play it, then that's the way we're going to play it. Just don't call it King Kong if they don't want to do that. So, alright, rant over. Back to the figure. Okay, so moving on to the chest and the arms. He's got that motioning forward walk. Kind of like he's walking towards the army base towards the beginning of the movie or towards the end when he's walking up the side of the mountain after King Kong. Looks awesome. Big, thick arms. Big, huge catcher mitt hands. Massive claws to fight with. It's awesome. Just awesome. Now, moving on to the hips and the legs, you can see the mass of this Godzilla. Just very baggy, and I feel that if I had to wear this suit, I would be tired in seconds. But from what I understand, the bagginess was very thin as well. There weren't a lot of water scenes with Godzilla in this film, so they could make Godzilla the material a lot thinner. It wasn't as thick as, say the 54 or the 55. Or after this, the 64. You know, it's about thinner material they use for this, so you could actually move around, do better fight choreography. Which, you know, is good, but you get to see the bagginess, where the 30 centimeter is a little more thinner around the thighs and the legs. But there I am comparing to the 30 centimeter again, sorry. Moving on to the legs, and then the feet. Alright, now this is the first film, yes, where they did away with the fourth toe, and they're going with the 3-toe scheme with Godzilla. Then you go on to the toenails. The toenails, you got the skin color bleeding into the toenail. The toenails aren't really yellow, they're not really bone white. They are almost the same color as the skin, which is a little confusing, a little curious, but I still think it looks awesome. Sorry, I was taking pictures of him outside earlier. You still got some dirt on him. Okay. Next off, we look at the tail. It is a straight-on tail going straight outward. The tail going in was not very difficult. You know, what they say, own the hole. You own the hole for a bit, and you just squeeze that tail on in. Now, there is a little bit of maybe a problem, because one of the dorsal plate does want to kind of rub into another one, but, you know, if you put it on nice and carefully, it should be a problem. Lastly, we look at the dorsal plates. Looking a lot more simpler than its previous film in 55, but still, they look awesome. Bone white, almost like the skin color as well, with the dark centers as well. Look like giant leaves, just looking awesome. This Godzilla 62 is awesome. Little story. I was going to get this figure before, I was going to order it before going to G-Fest. However, I wanted to get it out in G-Fest because I wanted to make sure I had all my money that I could spend out at G-Fest. However, no one was selling it. I don't think it came out yet. Then I wanted to get it, and I got put on a waiting list. A couple of weeks go by. I thought I was going to have to go other means, eBay maybe. I was thinking about getting the Rick because it wasn't really that much more. So, well, I guess it was $100 more. But finally, Hobby Search emailed me and said that, hey, we've got a Godzilla 62 in. Just go through it and pay the way I normally would pay. And then I got it. So I got him in Friday or Saturday. Like I said, I'm going through a thing, so it took me a little longer to do this review. But this is an awesome figure. If you get a chance, I highly recommend that you jump on this. Jump on it hard. Jump hard on it fast. It is awesome. Next up, we're going to show size comparisons and look comparisons to the 30 centimeter. So here we have with the size comparison of the 30 centimeter Diamond reissue versus the Favorite Sculptors line Godzilla 62. So right off the bat, in the pictures I'm going to show, because I know my camera quality isn't really the greatest. I'm sorry, I'm not a professional movie maker thing or whatever. Plus, I'm not professional lighting or whatever. Anyway, you'll see that there's far more detail with the Favorite Sculptors line versus the 30 centimeter Diamond reissue. Now, like I said, when I look at these two figures together, I see two different scenes in the film. I see the 30 centimeter is the nighttime as he's walking through, you know, when he's attacking the electrical power plant, which doesn't make any sense why electricity hurts Godzilla in this film, but in the previous film, Godzilla King of the Monsters, or Goja, power plants actually just do nothing to him. So I don't understand that. But, it reminds me of that. And it also reminds me of when they tried to bury him and have a bunch of gas kill him underground. All the different plans that they try to do at nighttime. So that's what this Godzilla reminds me of. This Godzilla reminds me of all the daytime stuff. He fights Kong, for the first time in that valley of trees and stuff out in the forest, or when he's up on the mountain on Mount Fuji, fighting inside that canyon, and the two are battling back and forth. Then it kind of switches over when it gets to the nighttime, and towards the end of the fight, it kind of starts to look like this Godzilla. They have balance in between them, and they both look really good. And if you don't have either one of these, I highly recommend you own at least one. Now, which one will I recommend off the top? Well, I think the detail is better. Now I have them actually right next to each other. I think the detail for the 62 Favorite Sculptors line, I think, has better detail. However, if you want more of a dynamic pose, you want a little more simpler look for Godzilla, I'd say the 30 centimeter is also really good to look as well. Plus, it's got the open mouth, it's roaring, or it looks like he's breathing fire. So, you get more options, I guess, with this. Or the Favorite Sculptors line is just a head-on look at him. It almost looks like a model that was handcrafted, where you can tell that the 30 centimeter is a little more extra was done. This one feels like only a limited amount were made. This one feels like a much more higher amount was made. So, if I'm done rambling, they're both great figures. Also, when I can see with the hands are now actually a big part of it. This one seems to be more suit accurate than this one, but like I said, these feel like they're in different parts of the film as well. So, either or that you get, whether it's a Favorite Sculptors line or a 30 centimeter, I recommend both or one or the other. You can't go wrong with either one. So, that there is the review of the Favorite Sculptors line of Godzilla 62. Now, in closing, I'd like to say one more time, hey, we're getting Kong Skull Island, the X Plus 30 centimeter Kong. Okay, they're going to do that one. Since pretty soon, we're going to be having a renaissance of Kong and Godzilla, with Godzilla vs. Kong in 2020. Now's the time to jump on making Kong figures for X Plus. If you got this one in the works, I really would recommend. I'm not trying to be an angry consumer. That's not it. I think it would be what would sell for X Plus, and I think a Kong 62, a Kong 76, or a Kong, well, not really 2005, but from King Kong Escapes, so that's 67, I think it was. Any of those three Kongs, if you did any of those all would sell out, in my opinion. Okay, there are a lot of fans of Kong, and especially the Showa Kong with Godzilla in 62. There are a lot of fans for King Kong Escapes. And you can think about the Rick Boy editions you can do with those. Kong with like light up hands for like the taser fingers. Or with King Kong Escapes, you can give him like a big boulder to hold over his head. Or you can have him with like a severed Mecha Kong or something. So, I'm just rambling now. Godzilla 62, Favorite Sculptors line is awesome. That's the show. Hope you all enjoyed this. Y'all have a good night. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and see y'all with the next review. Hopefully it'll be unboxed this time.